And hello and welcome to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. So glad you could join us wherever you may be on InlandValleyBaseball.com for the Pirates' 5th game of the regular season this summer and the Buccaneers' 3rd game. Of course, the Bucs have only played the Pirates so far. They lost a doubleheader on Saturday. Scores were 13-4 and 8-3. The Pirates, meanwhile, they are 4-0, and they have outscored the opposition by a combined 36-8. And they have been very, very good pitching-wise and also hitting-wise. As you could make that division in your mind, 36 runs in 4 games, that's 9 a game. So that's pretty good. And, of course, 8 runs per game in 4 games is 2. So they're averaging a 9-2 decision here in the early going of this season. As we mentioned, there's a little bit of an early start time. It's a 4:30 start time, not a 5 o'clock start time, which is the normal start time for most Pirate games. Not exactly sure why. It was just a decision that Kevin Bowler, the manager of the Bucs, wanted to have one a half hour earlier here today. So if this game should go into extra innings, there's an extra half hour to work with. I'm not sure if that will happen or not, but that's always good to know that there's a little bit more daylight to get this game decided. One thing that's going to be a little bit interesting about this game is the Pirates will actually be the road team, and the Buccaneers will be the home team. Both of these teams, of course, calling Cal Poly Pomona home. Both teams getting set to start SCCBL play next week. Both will do that, in fact, on Tuesday, as the Pirates will travel to Palm Springs for a game on Tuesday and Wednesday against the Power. Power are also 4-0 at this moment, so both teams tied in first place at the SCCBL standings. Team San Diego is 1-1. These Buccaneers are 0-2, and the OC Jackson High Desert Heat have not played yet. If you were wondering who the Buccaneers are opening their SCCBL schedule against, that would be the High Desert Heat next Tuesday. They'll play them Tuesday and Wednesday. So both teams in action Tuesday and Wednesday for SCCBL matchups. As we mentioned, this is the 8th season of the SCCBL. Palm Springs Power, the 3-time defending champions. The Inland Valley Pirates finished 4th last year. Of course, the Bucs are a new team, but the Pirates are really hoping to get in that top 3 and make the playoffs, and they look like they have the talent to do so this season. Of course, this season, in previous years, it's only been the top 2 that go to the playoffs. This season, the number 2 team will play the number 3 in a play-in game, and then the winner will play a best-of-3 series against the number 1 seed. Just about set for opening pitch, 4:29 right now, so the game should be starting very soon as the umpires are at home plate. We'll get you the starting lineups right about now. So leading off for the Buccaneers will be Mbusi/Wayo, the center fielder. Batting second is Kevin Riley, the shortstop. Batting third, Tanner Thibodeau, the DH. Batting fourth, Jack Spahn, the first baseman. Batting fifth, Gerardo Ramirez, the third baseman. Batting sixth, number 24, Richie Chavez. He'll be the extra hitter. And as we mentioned, in a non-conference game, even though both of these teams are in the SCCBL, this is still a non-conference game. You're allowed to hit 10 hitters, so both teams will do that today. Anthony Rabito is batting 7th in right field. Batting 8th, the catcher Johnny Juarez. Batting 9th, Rudy Cesares, the second baseman. And last but not least, Diego Cortez in left field is hitting 10th. Of course, we just read the starting batting order for the Buccaneers, but we mentioned the Buccaneers will actually be the home team. The Pirates will be the road team. So here's the Pirates starting lineup. It'll be Jason Padlow at short. Then George Ortega is the extra hitter. Andrew Alvarez at first base. Christian Kelly, the catcher. Johnny Reynoso batting fifth is at third base. Batting sixth, Jacob Bernardi, the center fielder. Batting seventh, Bryce Cherry, the right fielder. Batting eighth, Nathan Virgin, the left fielder. And the second baseman, Fernando Escobar, is ninth. And last but not least, we have Nolan Henley, the designated hitter, batting 10th. Of course, Nolan Henley had a pretty productive game yesterday. He was the leadoff hitter, stole 3 bases, stole second base twice, and third base once. I talked to him a little bit before the game, and he said they were giving it to him. It was there for the taking, and that's exactly what he did. He took it. So 3 for 3 in stolen bases. He also had a stolen base against the Dodgers, so 4 of the past 2 days. Let's see if he adds to that tally here today. Meanwhile, the starting pitcher on the mound for the Buccaneers is Michael Reyna. Michael Reyna, ready to make his second start here of the season. He actually started the second game of the doubleheader on Saturday for these Buccaneers. Michael Rangana is 6'0", 190 pounds. He'll be a sophomore at Citrus College next season. This past season at Citrus put up pretty good numbers. 10 appearances, 7 games started, 3.10 ERA, 2-2 record, 40 2/3 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts as a freshman. So very good numbers for Michael Reyna, who looks like he might be potentially the Bucs ace early in the season, as the Bucs will once again test themselves against the Pirates here today in their third game. Sure, the Bucs and the Pirates will feel very comfortable with each other by the end of this season. As we mentioned, this is the third time they're playing each other, and then they're going to play for a fourth time in Las Vegas this weekend. That'll be on Sunday. And then they still have 4 more contests that will actually be league contests in the SCCBL. So they'll play 8 times altogether this season, will the Bucs and the Pirates. Johnny Juarez takes his last practice throw over to second base, and we are set for action at 4:33 p.m. here at Cal Poly Pomona. Jason Padlow to lead things off for the Pirates in the top of the first inning. Gets you the defensive alignment for the Bucs. It'll be Cortez in left, /Wyo in center, Rabito in right, Ramirez at third, Riley at short, Cesares at second, Spawn at first, and Juarez behind the dish. First pitch is a fastball in at the knees, called strike 1, and we are underway. 0-1 the count to Jason Padlow. Jason Padlow, 5'11", 200-pound right-handed hitter, going against the right-handed hurler, Michael Reyna. This pitch is in there, and it's 0-2. So that's what you want to see if you're a Bucs fan. Quickly, Reyna gets ahead of the hitter, Jason Padlow, and it's 0-2. Reyna towing the rubber from the left side and now steps off. Another very hot day here in the Inland Empire, as this breaking ball is on the outside corner, called strike 3, and Jason really didn't like that call as he stared at it for a few seconds and now walks back to the dugout. So the first out here is a strikeout looking for the Bucs. And if you recall, actually when Reyna came in, I believe he was the guy, yes, he was the guy that retired the side in order in the first inning and then gave up about 5 runs in that second inning. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, line drive to center field. Heading back is /Wyo, and it gets over his head. Ortega rounding first, headed for second with a stand-up double. So just like that, the Pirates get their first base hit and a runner in scoring position as Andrew Alvarez steps up to the plate. George Ortega would be happy to score that first run here for the Pirates. Of course, George Ortega is from Lewis and Clark State, where he won an NAIA World Series championship. Speaking of champions, Andrew Alvarez is also a champion for Orange Coast College this past season. Won a state championship with them. Alvarez steps up for his first at-bat. On deck is Christian Kelly. Nobody holding Ortega on at second base. Of course, Ortega's a catcher or first baseman by trade. This is a breaking ball in the dirt. Juarez stops it, so Ortega will have to stay put. Ortega not the most fleet of foot, so obviously he's not going to try to go to third unless that ball gets by Juarez. 1-0 the count to Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez, the 6'4", 230 right-handed hitter, awaiting the 1-0 offering from Reyna. Reyna checks the runner at second. Checks again. Now fires. This one is a 58-footer in the dirt. Another stop by Juarez, and it's 2-0. Charlie Reynoso, of course, the third base coach and also the manager of this team and also the head of this program in general, the head of both teams. He, of course, appointed Kevin Bowler, the manager for the Buccaneers. As this fastball misses low, and it's a 3-0 count to Andrew Alvarez. We mentioned Alvarez earned a scholarship to Houston Baptist in previous games with his great play at Orange Coast College. Also went to Pepperdine as a freshman. So this is one of the more talented players you'll see here in the SCCBL in general, not just on this field. Fastball misses low, 4-pitch walk drawn by Alvarez, And there are 2 men on board for the Pirates here in the top of the first inning. If you're just joining us, yes, it is the top of the first inning. The Pirates are the road team today. Coaches decided before the game that the Bucs wanted to definitely pitch 9 innings, as Kevin Buller wants to see all of his pitchers and just kind of see what they have to offer so he knows what they can throw as the season moves on. Here comes Christian Kelly. Kelly takes high and tight for ball 1, and it's 1-0. Well, Christian Kelly is another one of these top players here in the SCCBL. In fact, he was an all-star last year, hitting .296, but it's really what he does behind the plate as a catcher on defense that's been the most impressive these 2 years here in the SCCBL. I mean, he is a guy that held the Power in check. The Power didn't even want to try to steal base with him throwing, and that's something they're known for. They're known for getting out often, trying to basically run the score up and get as many runs across as they possibly can by getting people in the scoring position. As we have our first pitching visit of the day, as one of the coaches for the Bucs talks to Michael Reyna, tries to settle him down a little bit as he's thrown 5 consecutive balls. 1-0 the count here to Christian Kelly. Christian Kelly, of course, feeling comfortable here and on this field. He plays for Cal Poly Pomona, where he was a freshman this past season. Swings and misses at this off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1. Christian Kelly is another guy who transferred, just like Alvarez. Kelly originally committing to UC Santa Barbara, and he redshirted there last year before coming here to Cal Poly Pomona. Here's the pitch from Reyna. This one is fouled off the edge of the bat and straight back, and it's 1-2. So whatever the pitching coach told Michael Reyna, it worked. After 5 consecutive balls, he throws 2 strikes in a row, and it's 1-2. Aaron Reynoso on deck, wearing number 5, playing and batting in the number 5's position, and also playing in the 5 position. That's third base. This is a fastball high and up, and this will be a wild pitch as both runners move into scoring position. So that's tough for the Bucs, as Reyna had come back with 2 consecutive strikes and got ahead in the count, and then throws that wild pitch, and now there's 2 runners in scoring position for Kelly. Kelly's been outstanding so far in the season. He's leading the team in RBIs. I believe he has 5. Yes, he has 5 RBIs in 3 games. This one swung on, a high towering fly ball to center field, shallow center, and Busi/Weil on his horse makes the catch and fires home. And Ortega wasn't going to run on that one, as the throw is a little off the line down the third base side, but it didn't matter. We mentioned Ortega not the most fleet of foot, so that will be the second out here on the fly out to center field to /Weil. Well, /Weil, got to talk to him before the game, and if you look at how you spell his name, you would never in a million years guess that you pronounce it /Weil. It's HLATSHWAYO, and you pronounce it /Weil. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0 the count to Reynoso. That's what his teammates told me on Saturday. He didn't happen to be in the dugout when I was asking for the pronunciation, and I thought it was just a nickname, and they were all telling me, no, that's his real name, and that's exactly what he told me here today. Here's the second pitch to Reynoso. He chops this one over to the right side. The second baseman, Sars, grabs it and fires to first, and that will be the final out of the inning. So the Pirates threaten. They had 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out, but they can't get any runs across the plate. And at the end of 1/2 inning, it remains scoreless from Cal Poly Pomona. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the first. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com for a matchup between the Pirates and Buccaneers. Bottom of the first inning, no score, just underway still from Cal Poly Pomona, as Mbusi/Wayo comes to the plate, the center fielder who made the second out in that last inning, as this one misses low for ball 1. Of course, Wayo grabbing that fly ball in shallow center field, firing home and making sure that Ortega couldn't tag up to make it a 1-0 game. This one misses low, and it's 2-0 for Jake Miller. Jake Miller with his first outing of the season for the Pirates. He played for Fullerton College the year they were the state runner-up, as this one swung on and fouled straight back at the screen, and it's 2-1. That season at Fullerton College, in 22 appearances, he was 5-0, had 5 saves, a 1.22 ERA, and 18 strikeouts in 37 innings. This one swung on as a fly ball over to left field, and the catch is made casually out there by Virgin for the first out. Here comes Kevin Riley. Kevin Riley, the shortstop in this game. Mentioned that he was an honorable all-mention selection for his team this past season as he fouls this one back at the screen. Kevin Riley, 6'1", 185 pounds. Chaffey College was the college he played at this freshman year. He'll be a sophomore next year. Pitch from Miller, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. This past season at Chaffey College, 32 games, .320 batting average. So pretty good numbers right there. In fact, he had 45 hits in 32 games. This one's swung on, and it's a fly ball over to the shortstop, who makes the grab. That is Padlow, about a foot on the outfield grass, and that's the second out here in the first inning. So a couple fly ball outs here for the Pirates. If you remember yesterday, the starter was Aaron Reynoso. And Aaron Reynoso, the first 6 outs he retired were all fly balls. And he was spreading the love, too. I know all 3 outfielders had one, and second baseman had one. That was Blake James yesterday, as this fastball misses high and away, and it's 1-0 to Tanner Thibodeau. Tanner Thibodeau, the designated hitter for this game. Here's the pitch from Miller. Fastball high and away, and it's 1-1. Tanner Thibodeau, 6'1", 170 pounds, from Kansas City Community College, where he'll be a sophomore next season. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, as Jake Miller is really bringing the heat here in the first inning for the Pirates. Tanner Thibodeau, one of the few guys that is not from this area, not a local guy, as this one's on the outside for called strike 2. Thibodeau, hometown is Omaha, went to Elkhorn South High School. Here's the 2-strike pitch, swung on and missed, and it was in the dirt, so the catcher, Kelly, is going to have to fire to first to complete the out, and he does. So that will be the final out, and the side is retired in order here by Jake Miller in the first inning, and at the end of 1 inning of play, it remains scoreless from Cal Poly Pomona. You're listening to Inland Valley Baseball. To the top of 2 we go at Cal Poly Pomona. No scores so far between the Pirates and Bucs. Of course, the Pirates in their customary red shirts, black lettering, black numbers, white pants. Bucs, meanwhile, in their cut-off sleeve white shirts with the orange writing of the Buccaneers and numbers, white pants, and black undershirts. Michael Reyna fires the first pitch inside for ball 1 to Jacob Bernardi, the center fielder. Michael Reyna, a criminal justice major at Citrus College, hometown Chino Hills, and went to Chino Hills High School. Here's the delivery on the 1-0, and this one is swung on foul down the third base line. So to be 1-1 here for Reyna. Reyna received a couple accolades at Chino Hills High School. He was first team All-League twice and also first All-Inland Valley once. Here's the pitch. Swung on and driven to deep left field. That one has a chance to almost be out of here, but it's tracked down deep in left field by Cortez, about 2 feet from the fence. That was well struck. That was one of the probably best hit balls I've seen so far in the season. It just happened that Cortez has a lot of speed out there, and it was hit pretty much over his head, but, towards him. So it wasn't in the gap or anything. That was struck very well. So good job out there in left field. And you're also dealing with the sun out there as Bryce Cherry steps up to the plate. Bryce Cherry, the right fielder, a San Francisco State Gator, one of 4 San Francisco State Gators on this team. Breaking ball in at the knees, called strike 1, and it's 0-1 to Cherry. Bryce Cherry, 6'1", 205-pound left-handed hitter. Has an open stance. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there, and it's 0-2. So Michael Reyna starting off pretty strong here for the Bucs. He's only allowed 1 hit so far in the second inning. And it looks like he might be done after the second inning as somebody is warming up in the pen for the Buccaneers. Checks his swing. And no, he did not go, says the first base umpire. And it's 1-2. Bryce Cherry at San Francisco State hit .225 in 34 games this past season as he takes a breaking ball low. Of course, San Francisco State saw what they liked in him at Monterey Peninsula, where he was a first-team all-conference selection at the junior collegiate level, as this fastball misses outside, and it's a full count to Bryce Cherry. As we mentioned, Cherry on the San Francisco State Gators. We want to thank the Gators for publishing a little article about the Pirates and linking to our website. As this is a breaking ball in the outside corner, called strike 3. Froze the hitter, Cherry. That'll be the second strikeout for Michael Reyna, both of them looking here in the second inning. Here comes Nathan Virgin. Of course, Nathan and his brother Anthony are both on this team. Nathan is the younger brother to Anthony by about 11 months. Nathan's 6'0", 180-pound right-handed hitter. Takes ball 1, and it's 1-0. Top of the second inning, no score. Pirates and Bucs doing battle. Virgin earned a scholarship to Lindsey Wilson in Kentucky, where he'll be eligible for 2 more seasons, as he swings and misses over the top of that off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1. On deck is Fernando Escobar. He's the number 9 hitter. And then in the hole, Nolan Henley, the designated hitter, batting 10th. Another breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's 1-2. So Michael Reyna throwing a lot of good off-speed pitches here, kind of catching the Pirates off their toes in the early going, their first time around the lineup. Here's the pitch. Once again, comes back inside with an off-speed pitch and freezes the hitter. So 3 strikeouts looking in just 2 innings pitched here for Reyna. And the score will remain 0-0 between the Pirates and Bucs at the end of 1.5 innings. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back to Scalinos Field. Dave Silvera on the play-by-play. So glad you could join us for this scoreless tie between the Pirates and Buccaneers. First pitch misses low from Jake Miller to Jack Spawn, the cleanup hitter for the Bucs. Jack Spawn drives this one down the third base line, but just foul by about a couple inches. So it's 1-1 to Spawn. If you remember, in the first game of the doubleheader on Saturday, he actually got hit in the left elbow with a pitch and was not able to return, as this breaking ball misses low in the dirt. Nice backhanded grab by Christian Kelly, and it's 2-1. Well, the manager, Kevin Bowler, thinks that Spawn is going to be a very good power hitter for the Bucs, as this one misses inside, and it's 3-1. Or actually, it just looked like the umpire held up 2, so it must be 2-2. Late kick, and here's the pitch. This one misses low, and that is ball 4, so maybe it was a full count there. I didn't think there were 2 strikes, though. But anyway, Spawn heads to first base nonetheless. And so the Buccaneers have their first man on base here in the game via the walk. Here's Gerardo Ramirez, the third baseman. Ramirez plays for the manager, Kevin Bowler, at Diamond Bar High School. He's squaring around, sacrifice bunt situation, and he fouls this one up towards the first base line, and it's 0-1. Gerardo Ramirez is a guy who kind of has a football build, 5'10", 210. I don't know if he sacrificed bunted too often during the regular season for his high school team at Diamond Bar. Swing around once again, and he gets it down. Making a barehanded grab and firing to first is Jake Miller to record the first out, but the job was done. The sacrifice bunt by Ramirez moves the runner into scoring position at second base. So Spawn now at second as Chavez comes to the plate. Richie Chavez, the extra hitter today. 5'10", 165-pound left-handed bat. Another guy who played for Citrus College his freshman year. Be a sophomore next season. This past season had a .310 batting average for Citrus, as this one is chopped foul into the first base dugout. Somebody made a barehanded grab over there in the dugout. It looked like it was George Ortega, who casually flipped it over to the manager, Charlie Reynoso. Miller comes set in the stretch, checks the runner at second, and fires home. Breaking ball, misses low, and it's 1-1 to Chavez. Well, if you remember, in the first game of the doubleheader on Saturday, everything went well for the Bucs in the first inning, and then it was all downhill from there. The Bucs took a 3-0 lead, retired the side in order, and Chavez was a big part of that. He had a 2 RBI single as he swings and misses at this breaking ball, and it's 1-2 to Chavez. And then Chavez was caught off first base by Christian Kelly on a snap throw down there. So 2-2 the count. A runner on second base, that, of course, is Jack Spahn, who reached on a walk. Here's the 2-2 offering. Swung on and missed, but it gets by the catcher, Christian Kelly. It was a breaking ball in the dirt, so the runner will make it to first base. And moving up 90 feet into third is Jack Spahn. So the Bucs have something going here in the bottom of the second inning. Runners on the corners, 1 out, and Anthony Rabito up at the plate. Anthony Rabito is the right fielder. 6'0", 195-pound right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. This one misses low and in for ball 1. His hometown is Chino Hills. Played for Iowa High School. Had a .386 batting average his senior season. Also had a .613 slugging percentage. If you look at some of his high school numbers, they're really silly. This one is struck hard on the line to the right side. We have a 4-6-3 double play, and that will end the inning. A nice job by Escobar as the ball was hit really hard on the one hop, but it didn't bounce very high. It bounced about maybe 6 inches off the ground. He catches it and flips it over to the shortstop, Padlo, who completes that double play. So once again, the Pirates get out of a little bit of a jam, a minor jam with runners on the corners. That's something that they've been able to do a lot this season so far. Runners on the corners, 1 out, and they get out of it unscathed. At the end of 2 innings, it remains a scoreless tie here at Cal Poly Pomona. And welcome back to Scalinos Field. To the third inning we go, top of the third to be exact, as Fernando Escobar will come in to face the new pitcher, Jason De La Pena. Jason De La Pena is a southpaw, 5'11", 175 pounds. Cal State San Bernardino, where he'll be a junior next year. He is going against Fernando Escobar. Escobar on the season in 2 games has had 7 at-bats and 3 hits in those 7 at-bats, so that's a .429 batting average. Escobar finds himself 9th in the lineup here today. Nolan Henley is batting 10th and on deck. And we'll go back to the top of the order. Fastball misses outside for ball 1, and it's 1-0. Jason De La Pena is a criminal justice major at Citrus College. A lot of Citrus Owls on both teams. As this one is swung on, bounced to the right side, a 2-hopper over to the second baseman who retreats a little bit. That's Cesares, and he can't make the throw in time. So Fernando Escobar showing off some speed, running out that play, and getting an infield base hit. Talk about it a lot, and the Pirates do have a lot of speed, a lot of guys with speed on this team, and speed does kill in baseball too. Lots of people always say speed kills in football, but if you can steal bases and if you can run out plays that look like they might be routine outs, that always allows you to score more runs and get more people on base, as Henley is at the plate with a runner on first. No outs, top of the third inning. De La Pena fires. This will be another 2-hopper, this time to the left side, and the shortstop, Riley, he fires across the diamond after looking first at second, but Escobar was there too quick, so he did the smart thing and got the given out. So there's 1 away, but moving up 90 feet and into scoring position is Escobar. So 6-3 on that putout as Jason Padlo, the leadoff hitter, comes to the plate. Padlo 0 for 1, struck out looking in the first inning. Catcher Juarez comes to talk to his pitcher, De La Pena. This past season at Citrus College, De La Pena, very, very good numbers. In 17 appearances, had a 0.79 ERA, 4 saves, 24 strikeouts in 22 2/3 innings pitched, so more than 1 strikeout per inning. Late kicking, here's the pitch. This one swung on and foul back at the screen, and it's 0-1 as the on-deck batter, George Ortega, will pick up the ball. Jason De La Pena's hometown is Los Angeles. Went to Los Altos High School, where he was a first-team All-Hacienda League selection. De La Pena checks back at the runner, now fires home. This one misses high and away for a ball to Jason Padlo. So the count is 1-1. Jason Padlo, another one of these 7 Cal Poly Pomona players on this Pirate team. 5'11", 200-pound right-handed hitter. De La Pena checks the run. The runner's going, and this pitch misses outside, and there won't even be a throw. So we talked about how fast Escobar was just running that first play out. Then he shows his speed again on what could have been a double play, and now he steals third base. So Fernando Escobar single-handedly manufacturing a run if they can get a hit or a sacrifice right here. This one swung on and missed on a fastball by Padlo. Padlo now to his 2-strike count, 2-2. Jason Padlo is another guy who has baseball running through his veins, kind of like the pitcher Kevin Glom yesterday. Here's the pitch. Actually, that was Kevin Glom 2 days ago, as this one misses low. But for Jason Padlo, his father played in the minor league system for the Giants. His grandfather played in the Yankees minor league system, and his brother just got a scholarship offer from the University of San Diego. So a baseball family. Working from the windup, here's the pitch from De La Pena, and his foul tipped off the catcher's protective gear, right off the right shoulder, high on the right shoulder towards the collarbone area. As Ortega's making his money's worth over in the on-deck circle. That's the second ball he had to pick up. De La Pena checks the runner, even though he's working out of the windup here with a runner on third. Late kick, and here's the pitch. This one swung on, and another good job of protecting the plate by Padlo as this one's foul behind the screen. And Jason Padlo really hoping to get a run any way he possibly can here. As we mentioned, there's only 1 out, so if he can get the ball on the ground or hit a high fly ball to the outfield, you get a sac RBI here. This one on the outside corner, called strike 3, and that is the second time today that's happened, where Jason Padlo has struck out looking at a pitch that he thought was low and outside, as he goes back to the dugout dejected, and George Ortega steps up to the plate. If you remember, George Ortega in his first at-bat, on the first pitch he saw, had a double. George Ortega awaiting the pitch from De La Pena, who likes what he sees from his catcher's signs. Comes in with a pitch that looked like it was a slider that basically started pretty much on the right half of the plate and worked its way all the way over to the left and is called a strike. Still on third base is Fernando Escobar, who had the infield single and then stole third, as this one misses low and away, and it's 1-1. Talked about it when Cherry was up at bat, but Fernando Escobar is one of those aforementioned 4 San Francisco State players. The other 2 are Ryan Romero and Corey Davis. Both are pitchers. Here's the pitch from the southpaw. This one swung on. It's a fly ball to shallow right field. Charging in and making the grab is Anthony Rubito for the final out here in the 3rd inning. At the end of 2.5 innings of play, there's still no score from Cal Poly Pomona between the Pirates and Bucs. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com.
They say good things come to those who wait, but come on, who wants to wait? T-Mobile has the new Samsung Galaxy S5, and you can grab one right now, even if you're stuck in a contract with another carrier. Switch to T-Mobile, and we'll pay off your early termination fees, so you can get the new Galaxy S5 today. We'll even pay the fees for the entire family, up to 5 lines. What are you waiting for? Break free to T-Mobile and get the Galaxy S5 right now.
Service contract payoff requires device trade-in, new device purchase, and line port-in. Limited time only. See store for details.
Cleaning is a dirty job, but at handybook.com, we're here to help. Handybook is the fast and convenient home cleaning service that everyone's talking about. Our friendly and experienced professionals will have your home or apartment looking spotless in no time. Try us today to get your first 2-hour home cleaning for just $29. Just enter code MUSIC at checkout. That's handybook.com, code MUSIC. Handybook. Let us do the dirty work for you.
And welcome back. To the bottom of 3 we go between the Bucs and Pirates. No score as we have a new pitcher. That is Sean Patton. Sean Patton, the right-handed pitcher, 6'4", 190 pounds from Citrus College. Getting ready for his first offering here. As this one is swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line by Johnny Juarez, the catcher. Sean Patton had a very good season for Citrus College this past year. In 17 appearances, he started 6 games, had a 5-4 record as this breaking ball misses low for a ball. Had a 2.07 ERA and 62 strikeouts in 65 1/3 innings pitched, which was good enough to garner him first team all-conference honors. This one swung on down the right field line and just fell. Andrew Alvarez made a leaping attempt, but it was about probably 4 or 5 feet over his head, so it was unreachable for him. As now Johnny Juarez will have to protect the plate with a 2-strike count here against Sean Patton. Sean Patton, a business major, will hope to go about his business here in his outing today. Working out of the windup, here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses in the dirt, 59-footer, and that will be a ball. His hometown is Diamond Bar and went to Diamond Bar High School, so the manager standing on third base right now is the third base coach, Kevin Bowler, might be very familiar with this pitcher, Sean Patton, as this one misses low, and we have a full count. Here's the pitch from Sean Patton. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the first base line and out of play over the netting. That will go over into that adjacent area, which, as we mentioned before, is where some of the dormitories are here at Cal Poly Pomona. Late kick, and here's the pitch. This fastball misses high, and a walk is drawn by Juarez. So a very good plate appearance right there for Johnny Juarez to fight until the bitter end and to draw that walk as Rudy Cesares comes up for his first at-bat. Cesares batting in the 9th spot today. Then we'll have Diego Cortez in the 10th spot, and then we'll go back to the top of the order with Slash Wyo. Juarez takes his lead off first, and that was a very close call over there on a pickoff attempt by Sean Patton. As we mentioned, Juarez is a catcher. He's not the most fleet of foot, so I don't think he's thinking about potentially stealing a bag. But he does have a good-sized lead, and he is off with the pitch. And actually what he was doing was they were laying down a sacrifice bunt. So that's why Sean Patton, he knew that Kevin Bowler really likes to try to manufacture runs any way he can. And so Patton wanted to keep him on his toes and make sure that he was paying attention over there at first base. Let's see if the bunt is still on here for Rudy Cesares on an 0-1 count with no outs here in the 3rd inning. Another pickoff attempt. And once again getting dirty over at first base is Juarez. Mentioned it before, but it's always kind of funny when you see in these summer games and in spring training type of games, you see the pitchers running poles in the outfield during the game as this breaking ball hangs high and stays high for a ball. But that's what they do here in the Summer League, and that's what they do in the spring training if you've ever been. Of course, pitchers' legs are really their most important thing. As Patton checks the runner at first. Now fires a fastball home that's swung on and fouled straight back at the screen directly behind home plate. And Slash Wyo will pick that one up. Slash Wyo actually in the hole, not the on-deck batter. As Cesares now will have to protect with a 2-strike count. Won't be able to sacrifice unless they really want to lay a sac bunt down here with a 2-strike count. This one is swung on, a chopper over to the third baseman, Reynoso. Reynoso fires to second, and we have a 5-4-3 double play. So the second of the game turned by the Pirates, as Escobar was the one who turned it over to first base, and Andrew Alvarez. The first one, of course, was an inning-ending double play back in the last half inning, actually in the last inning, and that was of the 4-6-3 variety. Cortez trying to lay one down for a bunt hit, but fouls it down the third base line. Reynoso was in there very quickly. He was already halfway down that third base line. So 0-1 the count to Diego Cortez. Here's the pitch from Patton. This one's in there for strike 2. Sean Patton, one appearance before today, gave up 1 run in 2 innings, as this one is swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. But no runs allowed here so far in 1 inning today, and at the end of 3 full innings of play, it remains a scoreless tie from Scalinos Field, Pirates and Bucs. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 4 we go. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you could join us wherever you may be for the 5th game of the season for the Pirates and the 3rd game of the season for the Bucs. Of course, the Bucs coming in 0-2, losing a doubleheader on Saturday to the Pirates. Meanwhile, the Pirates are 4-0 as Andrew Alvarez steps up to the plate for his second plate appearance. Alvarez, the number 3 hitter in the lineup, so we're right in the meat of the lineup, the heart of the order for the Pirates in the 4th inning. First pitch is a breaking ball in at the knees, called strike 1 for the new pitcher, Art Salazar. So you can close the book on Jason De La Pena, who only worked 1 inning here. Another breaking ball swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Art Salazar is 6'6", 220 pounds, from Cal State San Bernardino. Leg kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball misses low and away, and it's 1-2. Cal State San Bernardino is another well-represented school between these two teams. I'd say Cal State San Bernardino and Cal Poly Pomona are probably the 2 most common. Salazar, another Inland Empire guy, went to Etiwanda High School as this breaking ball hangs high and in, and it's 2-2 to Andrew Alvarez. Among other things, Salazar played on the Kansas City Royals scout team his senior year in high school, as he shakes off the catcher's signs and then steps off the mound. So it's 2-2 to Alvarez. Here's the pitch from Salazar. This one's swung on, and it's a towering fly ball. Will it get out of play? It's on the third base line towards the dugout. And yes, it is out of play. So we'll do it again. Another 2-2 offering to come here between Salazar and Alvarez. Still no score here in the top of the 4th inning, as this one misses high for ball 3. So a very lengthy at-bat here for Alvarez, as he's looking to reach base for the 2nd time in the game. Of course, he walked back in the 1st inning. Here's the pitch from Salazar, and once again he draws a walk. I believe that walk in the 1st inning was a 4-pitch variety, and this one was more hard-earned, as Alvarez had to fight off a few pitches. He finds his way on first. And here comes Christian Kelly, the cleanup hitter. Kelly flew out to center field with the runner on third base back in the 1st inning. That runner was George Ortega, who doubled and then went to third on a wild pitch. The ball was hit too shallow, though, and Slash-Weil made a good enough throw to keep Ortega put at third base. As Alvarez takes his lead, Salazar fires home to Kelly, and the breaking ball misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Christian Kelly. As we mentioned, Christian Kelly is a very talented player, not just defensively, but also with the stick, and he's shown it so far this season as Alvarez is off at the pitch, and it's fouled off the ankle of Christian Kelly. Well, we mentioned it. He leads the team with 5 RBIs so far in the early season. He also leads the team with 5 runs scored and just 10 at-bats. So that's being pretty efficient, is number 27 here in the early going of the season. Salazar working out of the stretch, comes set. Here's the pitch. This one's swung on, and it's another foul ball that bounces back towards the screen. Once again, even though these two teams are in the SCCBL, this is still not a conference matchup, as we have a pickoff attempt over to first. Not in time. Pirates and Bucs will do battle 4 times before they play their first actual conference game. And then, of course, they'll have 4 conference games with each other as well, as this one is hit off the edge of the bat over towards the second baseman. He makes the tag and then fires to first, and that will be a 4-3 double play. So a nice job over there by Cesares to make the tag as Alvarez was running by him, and to sling it sidearm over across to first base for the second out of the inning. So a 4-3 double play as Johnny Reynoso comes to the plate. Here's the pitch from Salazar. Fastball outside, ball 1-1-0 the count. If you remember yesterday, it was scoreless for the first 3 innings. And then the Pirates scored in 4 consecutive innings. As this breaking ball is on the outside corner for strike 1, and it's 1-1 to Reynoso. Of course, Johnny Reynoso headed to West Texas A&M. Also played at Citrus College this past season, where he's a first-team all-conference selection. This one misses low for a ball to Reynoso. Of course, Reynoso's father is the manager, Charlie. Also on the team is his brother, Aaron, and his cousin, Matthew. This one's swung on. It's a towering fly ball that's tailing it to left field, and the left fielder makes another good grab. That is Cortez. And Cortez opened towards his left side initially, and then battling with the sun, he opened 180 degrees over to his right side and makes the basket grab. So another very good play by Cortez, as there were 2 very far balls hit out there. The other one by Jacob Bernardi. But still, the Bucs get out of this inning unscathed, and at the end of 3.5 innings, it remains scoreless from Cal Poly Pomona. And welcome back. We're headed for the bottom of the 4th inning between the Pirates and Buccaneers. Still no score here at Cal Poly Pomona, as Brett Early is the new pitcher for the Pirates. First pitch is bunted down the third baseline, foul, just out of the reach of Johnny Reynoso, who's charging very hard. As we also had in the background, I don't know if you could hear it or not at home, but a very loud motorcycle guy going what sounded like pretty fast, as it's 0-1 to Slash Wyo. Slash Wyo, of course, is the leadoff hitter for the Bucs. 0 for 1, flew out to left field in his first at-bat. 1-1 the count here as Brett Early, 6'2", 205, right-handed pitcher, towing the rubber from the left side of the mound. Here's the pitch, fastball. That missed, and that'll be 2-1 to Slash Wyo. Slash Wyo actually got up 2-1 his previous at-bat before flying out. As this one is swung on, and this is another high fly ball to left center field. The center fielder will call off Virgin. That, of course, is Bernardi, and that is the first out here in the 4th inning. So here comes Kevin Riley. Riley flew out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. It's about 1 foot on the outfield grass for his counterpart, Jason Padlow. Swings and misses at the first pitch. It's a breaking pitch, and it's 0-1. If you remember the last time Brett Early took the mound, he struck out the first 5 hitters he saw. Then he had the 6th hitter down 1-2, as this one is whacked down the left field line, but foul, and towards the bullpen. Actually got over the bullpen. And speaking of the bullpen, it looks like somebody for the Buccaneers is warming up. I cannot entirely make out his number, but obviously we'll tell you who it is in the next half inning. Here's the pitch from Early, as this one is swung on, and it's a ground ball over to Johnny Reynoso. He fires across the diamond for the out, and that'll be the second out here. It's Daniel Diaz, by the way, who is warming up in the bullpen wearing number 11. So 5-3 on that putout on a slow roller to the third baseman, Reynoso. And here comes Tanner Thibodeau. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Early fires. swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. And to finish that story, he struck the first 5 hitters out, and then the 6th hitter he had that went down 1-2, and the hitter nubbed it off the edge of the bat to Early, and Early threw it very hard over the first baseman as he was clearly frustrated. He really wanted to strike out all 6 hitters he faced, but he didn't do it. And then yesterday I saw him, and I asked him about that, and he said yes, he was very frustrated because he thought he could have gotten him, as this one is foul-tipped, and that'll be a strike 2 to Thibodeau. But he said he wanted it so badly, and the fact that it literally hit off the edge of the bat, that maybe if it was like an inch, to the other side, he would have gotten that. That would have been a really good performance for him, as this one is fouled down the third base line. Not that 5 strikeouts and retiring 6 guys in a row isn't a great performance. That, of course, is a great performance, but he just wanted it to be an outstanding, amazing performance. Of course, Brett Early from University of Laverne, one of 2 Leopards on this team. The other one is Nolan Henley, who is batting 10th today as the designated hitter, led off yesterday and stole 3 bags. This one's high and tight. Thibodeau is going to have to duck his head and get out of the way. Nolan Henley stealing 4 bags over the last 2 days, none yet here today. Let's see if his stolen base streak is continuing, as this one's called a strike on the outside corner. So Brett Early records a strikeout here, and at the end of 4 innings of play, it remains scoreless at Scalinos Field. Pirates and Buccaneers. You're listening to InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back to Cal Poly Pomona on the field of Scalinos Field, as it's 0-0 top of the 5th inning. Daniel Diaz is the relief pitcher. So we're seeing a lot of pitchers here today for both teams, as Jacob Bernardi will take his cuts for the second time, as this one misses high for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Daniel Diaz, 6'4", 170, plays for Mount San Antonio College, where he's a freshman this past year. In 10 appearances, had a 4.50 ERA. Here's the 1-0 offering, breaking ball in there at the knees, and it's 1-1. Had 17 strikeouts in 12 innings pitched. That's very good for the Chino Hills native. Went to Ayala High School. Here's the 1-1 offering, and this one misses the low and away for ball 2, and it's 2-1. Jacob Bernardi, a business administration major here at Cal Poly Pomona, hoping to go about his business and maybe get a base knock here, as this is a chopper, a high chopper over to the third baseman. Charges and fires not in time. That'll be an infield base hit for Bernardi, showing off his speed right there, as the Pirates have done throughout this game. Third baseman now is Seminaris, who has come in as a defensive replacement here for the Buccaneers in the 5th inning, which probably means they might have a few more guys in there. New guys, but not in the infield at least. Everybody else in the infield is the same. And then in the outfield, /Wyo is definitely in center. Squaring around is Bryce Cherry. He bunts it straight back at the pitcher. Will they have a play at second? No. Going straight to first is Diaz. So the out is retired. But the sacrifice is accomplished by Cherry, as Bernardi advances into scoring position at second base. So the Pirates with a runner in scoring position, and Virgin up at the plate. Nathan and Virgin 0 for 1 today. As we mentioned previously, Pirates have a family feel. 3 Reynosos on the team, 2 Virgins. Here's the pitch, as this one misses high and in for a ball, 1-0. Virgin really had to duck out of the way of that ball, or else it would have hit him right in the head. We also, of course, have Charlie Reynoso as the manager, and we have Greg Espinosa, and his father, Vic, is a coach as well. There's a lot of family ties on this team. Late kick, and here's the pitch from Diaz. Bounce straight back at the pitcher. It deflects off his glove and goes to Cesar as the second baseman. Fires over to first in time for the out. Nice backhanded pick by Jack Spahn. And that'll be the second out of the inning as you record the 1-4-3 putout. And Fernando Escobar comes to the plate with a man on third base. That, of course, is Bernardi, who who had the infield single over to third base. Seminaris, the new third baseman over there for this inning. Here's the pitch to Escobar. Escobar swings at the first pitch and drives it through the right side, making a diving play, but not being able to throw it is the second baseman, Cesares. And Bernardi will come in to score, so it is 1-0 on another RBI single by Fernando Escobar. I should say another single. It was obviously the first RBI of the game as it's 1-0. And here comes Nolan Henley. But Cesares did a great job showing range to his left side, and that was hit in the hole. And he made a diving grab, but it was too late. Escobar is a very speedy runner, and he was already at first base by the time Cesares looked up. First pitch misses for ball 1 to Nolan Henley. 1-0 the count. Mentioned he is one of 2 University of Laverne players on this team back in the last half inning, because the other one, Brett Early, is now currently on the mound. Diaz comes set in the stretch, fires over to first base. Not in time. Escobar actually doesn't have that big of a lead for such a speedy guy. See if he extends it a little bit more now. It's still a pretty slender lead over at first base. And it's a one-way lead, leaning back towards the bag. And it looks like the Bucs are really focused on him because that looked more or less like a pitch out on a fastball high and outside. But as we mentioned, on a one-way lead, you're not usually looking to steal. And then once again, normally you don't want to make the last out trying to steal. Here's the pitch from Diaz. Framing it is the catcher Juarez, and he gets the call. Well, manager Reynoso is giving his signs both to the runner at first and the hitter Henley at the dish. Henley digs in. He's ready to maybe do some damage. Henley came in the game batting .300, 3 for 10. As the runner's off, breaking ball swung on and bounced towards the left side of the infield at the shortstop Riley. Riley was actually covering the bag and running to his left and then had to come back to his right and kind of backhanded it and flung it across the infield to make the play. So good job by Kevin Riley there. And that'll do it for this half inning. But at the end of 4.5, the Pirates now take a 1-0 lead over the Bucs. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We head to the bottom of the 5th in a 1-0 game. Pirates getting that 1 run in the last inning as Early comes out for his second inning of work. This one swung on by Spahn deep in the shortstop hole, and making the play is the shortstop Varela. He made a backhanded grab deep in the hole and flung it across the diamond for the first out here. Varela is the new shortstop replacing Padlo. Reynoso is still at third. Alvarez is still at first. That looks like that's Blake James at second now. No, maybe not. No, that's still Escobar. And Kelly is still catching. Here's the pitch from Early. Swung on and missed by Gerardo Ramirez. Ramirez with no at-bat in his first plate appearance because it was a sacrifice bunt. Mentioned at 5'10", 210. He doesn't seem like he was the type of guy that asked to sacrifice often at Diamond Bar. But he got the bunt down in the first inning for his coach at Diamond Bar, Kevin Bowler. Here's the pitch from Early. This one swung on. It's a high fly ball to right field, and making the grab out there and right is Bryce Cherry for the second out. So two-way here in the 5th inning as Brett Early works his second inning here. Last season, Early, we mentioned this in the last game, but he is really a strikeout pitcher. Last year he had 30 strikeouts in 23 2/3 innings pitched in the SCCBL, as this one's called a strike to Richie Chavez. Chavez 0 for 1. Reached on a strikeout, though, in the second inning. Breaking ball, 0-2. Not much Chavez could do there. As Early once again gets ahead of a hitter. Catcher setting up on the outside, And it's a fastball that misses low and then springs up about 20 feet in the air. So and I don't think it hit home plate. Maybe it did hit home plate because I don't know how else it would have bounced that high. Another fastball misses outside, and it's 2-2. Well, one strikeout so far here today for Early, and 1 2/3 innings pitched. And that will be number 2 as a fastball is swung on and missed by Chavez, which was high, and that'll do it for the 5th inning. So that is the second strikeout of the day for Early. And it'll be interesting to see if Early comes back out, especially because the manager, Charlie Reynoso, met him before he went in the dugout. So maybe he's asking him if he wants to go out for another inning or so. But at the end of 5, it is 1-0 Pirates on top of the Bucs. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back to the top of 6 we go. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you could join us on InlandValleyBaseball.com for both Inland Valley teams playing each other, the Pirates and Buccaneers. Varela, who came in as a defensive replacement in the last half inning, is now up to hit. Here's the pitch. This one swung and foul tipped off the catcher, and it's 0-1. There's also a new pitcher, and that is Gerardo Ramirez. Gerardo Ramirez, as we mentioned, was actually hitting in the last inning, and he is from Diamond Bar High School, where his manager, Kevin Bowler, coaches. Breaking ball on the inside, called strike 2 to Varela. Channing Varela, 5'9", 170 pounds. Plays for Riverside City College, where he'll be a sophomore next year. This past season got some playing time, 24 games, as this one misses low and away. You look at Ramirez, and he's a guy that really aspires to play both pitcher and hit as well. As this one is swung on, and it's a high towering fly ball to that Bermuda Triangle zone, and making a sliding grab is the left fielder, Cortez. So Cortez has done a really nice job, and actually that is not Cortez. We have a defensive replacement out there wearing number 8. So that was actually Charles Escobar on the grab. As Greg Espinosa steps in for his first cuts of the day. So Greg Espinosa from Orange Coast College. Teammates with Andrew Alvarez, swings and misses at this one, and it's 0-1. He'll also be teammates with Andrew Alvarez next season at Houston Baptist. Speaking of Alvarez, who's on deck right now, he wears number 19 like Gerardo Ramirez, and this one is swung on and missed. And Ramirez is really aspiring to be what Alvarez is, a college player who can both hit and pitch. Of course, Ramirez will be a senior in high school next year, so he is the only player on this team, on either team, that will still be in high school next season. He had some really, really strong numbers at Diamond Bar, as Greg Espinosa now is going to have to protect with a 2-strike count. Also, Michael Ortega now is in at catcher here in the 6th inning, as this one misses for a ball. So it looks like the changes are coming fast and furious. Teagle is the first baseman, so he has replaced Spawn, as this one misses for a ball. Looks like we have a new second baseman as well. That would be Diego Cortez? Is that number 21? Did he? No, that's not number 21. That's this one swung on, and this one's fouled down the first base line, but it's playable, and making a basket catch is the new first baseman, Teagle. So that'll be an out here. That is not Diego Cortez at second, by the way. That is number 25, Michael Smith. So the changes are coming fast and furious, as they normally do in summer collegiate baseball. Of course, everybody gets their playing time as Andrew Alvarez comes to the plate. First pitch called a strike. 2 outs here. In the top of the 6th inning, if you're just joining us, the Pirates are the away team today, even though we're playing at Cal Poly Pomona. As this breaking ball misses low, and it's 1-1. So we've got all the changes that we've seen so far updated here. Although there might be a few changes in the outfield. Obviously, the outfielders are a bit too far for me to be able to make out their numbers or faces, so I can't really decipher who's out there. But I know there is a new center fielder because there's a left-handed center fielder, and /YO was right-handed. And we'll get that to you as soon as we can figure it out. And probably the easiest way to figure it out will be once they come in and pinch hit in the next inning. Of course, they're not exactly pinch hitting, as this one swung on and missed an off-speed pitch because they've come in as replacements here in this inning. But a very efficient and effective 2 2/3 inning for Ramirez so far. He's retired both batters he's seen, as this one's foul tipped by Alvarez. Alvarez still with no at-bat yet. He has had 2 plate appearances, but both culminated in walks. One was a battle, a long battle. The other a 4-pitch walk, which was in the 1st inning. As we have 2-strike pitch, this one hacked at and fouled down the third base line. It was high and in, a pitch that was kind of a purpose pitch to jam the hitter. Alvarez did a good enough job making contact with it to stay alive. The on-deck batter will be Dylan Lowenstein. So he'll come in as a replacement for Christian Kelly. As this one's grounded through the left side hole, making a backhanded grab in the hole was Seminaris. But he can't fire over to first because it was deep in the hole, so that'll be an infield base hit for Alvarez. Speaking of Seminaris, he came in the last inning at third, and now he's playing short, and Riley has moved from short to third. So we have lots of changes in the Buccaneers infield as Dylan Lowenstein comes to the plate. Dylan Lowenstein here in his 2nd game. In his 1st game he was 2 for 2. So he's batting 1,000 in the summer. Here's the pitch. This one's swung on, and it's a fly ball, foul, but playable. And the first baseman, Teagle, will make the catch for the final out here in the inning. At the end of 5.5 innings of play, it's still 1-0. Pirates on top of the Bucs. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brett Early out for his 3rd inning of work. This is the 3rd time he's appeared in the season, as this is a fastball in there for strike 1 to Sean Campbell. So Sean Campbell coming in to replace Anthony Rabito in right field. As this one misses low, and it's 1-1. Well, if you remember, Brett Early really struggled in his first outing of the season, and ever since then, he has been lights out. I know he was very disappointed with that outing, but he has been absolutely sensational since then, as this one is swung on over the top on a breaking pitch, and it's a 1-2 count here. There's a new third baseman in, and that is Virgin, as this one misses for a ball. Lowenstein, of course, is the new catcher who came up in the last half inning to replace Christian Kelly. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So that'll be the 3rd strikeout for Early in his 3rd inning of work, 2 in a row. Here is Michael Ortega. Michael Ortega is the catcher who came in the last inning for Johnny Juarez. Juarez only had 1 plate appearance and walked. He swings at the first pitch and rolls it over to the second baseman, who flings it to first, and that is Blake James here for the 2nd out of the inning. Blake James also came in the last inning, replacing Fernando Escobar at 2nd. So there's 2 away here in the 6th inning. Early fires high and in for ball 1 to Seminaris. Seminaris is replacing Rudy Cesares in the lineup, as this fastball misses low, so he's replacing the second baseman. He entered as a third baseman, and then in the last inning he played short. Late kick, and here's the pitch from early. This one swung on and lined in left field for a base knock for Seminaris, and that, I believe, yes, that is the first base hit of the day for the Bucs. So finally, in the sixth inning, the Bucs get their first base hit. There were runners that had reached before on walks, also on an error. The Bucs finally get their first hit as Michael Smith comes up for his first at-bat of the season. Early comes set in the stretch. Here's the pitch from Early. Breaking ball misses low and away. Michael Smith, 5'10", 170-pound right-handed hitter from Memorial High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he was a senior this past year. Early checks the runner and fires over to first. So the Pirates went 5 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball until that single by Seminaris, and it was a no-doubter. Just turned on the pitch on the inside corner, drove it down that left field line. Early fires, another off-speed pitch, and this one misses outside for a ball. Well, this is the closest anybody's been to the Pirates in the first 5 games, going this deep into a game. 1-0 the score, bottom of the 6th inning. Bucs with a man on first, and now a man on second as well, as that was a walk issued out to Smith. So all of a sudden, the Bucs hoping for a 2-out rally here as Charlie Reynoso comes out for a conference with Dylan Lowenstein and Brett Early, and it looks like we might have a pitching change as somebody is running in. That is Jack Johnson, the left-handed hurler, is coming in to pitch. So all of a sudden, we mentioned in the last inning, Charlie was asking Early if he wanted to go in another inning, and obviously he said yes. And he gets the first 2 outs. One was a strikeout. That, of course, was Sean Campbell. Then the ground out of Michael Ortega to the second baseman on the first pitch that he saw. And then all of a sudden he gives up the first hit of the day to Seminaris and walks Michael Smith, and he's out. And in comes Jack Johnson. If you remember, Jack Johnson was part of that game against the East LA Dodgers, as was Brett Early, where the Pirates contributed for 17 strikeouts in that one game. Jack Johnson had 7 of them in 3 innings. Early, of course, had the 5 in his 2 innings. Glom had a couple in 2 innings. As he takes his warm-up pitches, does Jack Johnson. Of course, Jack Johnson, 6'0", 190-pound left-handed pitcher, which we already mentioned, from UC Riverside, where he'll be a sophomore next season. This season played sparingly, only 8 appearances, but in those 8 appearances, he had 9 strikeouts. So pretty much averaging a strikeout per inning in the Big West, which is obviously a very, very good conference in Division I baseball. You see the likes of UC Irvine and Cal State Fullerton and UC Santa Barbara, Long Beach State. Of course, UC Irvine advancing to the Super Regionals. Speaking of UC Irvine, we have a player from UC Irvine that's eventually supposed to join the Pirates. That's Jordan Sheffs. He's another pitcher. Jack Johnson comes set, fires, first pitch swinging, high, towering fly ball to deep center field. Does that get over the center fielder's head? No, he makes the catch right by the wall, about 10 feet away from the wall. Nice grab, over the shoulder catch, opening up 45-degree angle towards his left side and making the catch, but that was struck very far on the first pitch. But it doesn't matter how far it goes if you can make the catch like that in the outfield and then retire the batter. And I am not exactly sure. I'm not referring to the center fielder because I couldn't see who it was. I believe it's a new center fielder out there, as he's getting congratulations, and he's walking into the dugout. And he has sunglasses on, I know that much, but I cannot make out who it is. Let's try to figure it out who it is in the next inning. Actually, no, it was Jacob Bernardi. I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong. I thought it was a new center fielder, but it was the same one. So I should have just went with my gut and said it was Bernardi. Anyways, at the end of 6 innings, it is 1-0 Pirates on top. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We head to the top of the 7th inning in a 1-0 game. Pirates on top of the Bucs. Here's the pitch from Gerardo Ramirez, who remains on the hill, and that is ball 1. 1-0 the count to Virgin. Virgin came in the last inning, replacing Johnny Reynoso. So this will be Virgin's first at bat. Of course, this is Anthony Virgin, not Nathan, who started the game. I believe is still in, actually. Yes, he is. This one swung on and missed. Well, Anthony Virgin is the older brother by about 11 months, so very close in age are the two brothers. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there for strike 2. Played for Orange Coast College a couple years ago, and will play for Citrus College next year. Didn't play this past season. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball that hangs high for a ball. His major is anthropology. Another returning player for the Pirates. Last season hitting .250 with the Pirates. Scored 7 runs and had 3 RBIs. Ramirez fires, and this one's high and misses for a ball. That'll be a full count. On deck is Bernardi, who made the great play in right center field, ending the last inning. As this breaking ball is a 59-footer and misses, of course, as a 59-footer for ball 4. So Virgin gets the free pass, and the Pirates have their leadoff man on board here in the 7th inning. Anytime you get that leadoff man on board, numbers usually go up astronomically in terms of the ability to score at least 1 run in the inning, as we have a conference at the pitcher's mound between Michael Ortega, Gerardo Ramirez, and the pitching coach for the Buccaneers. Meanwhile, Bernardi has visited Charlie Reynoso about halfway in between third base and home plate down that third base line. And now we're just about ready to resume play as Bernardi's heading back to the batter's box, as is Ortega. On deck is Alec Morabito. Of course, Alec Morabito had a very, very good game yesterday. Got the win, pitching-wise, in 3 innings pitched. Had a couple of strikeouts. Allowed only 1 run. Also had a triple to left field. Scored a run. Had an RBI. So very complete performance for number 21. This one's called a strike, and it's 0-1 to Jacob Bernardi. Jacob Bernardi, 1 for 2 on the day. Flew out to left field in the 2nd inning. Singled in the 5th and scored the only run of the game. Pickoff throw, really quick motion right there by Ramirez over to first base. Of course, he was hit in by Fernando Escobar on an RBI single to the right side hole. Actually, the second baseman made a very good sliding grab. But by the time he got up from his knees, the speedy Escobar was already safe. This one is a single in the left field. Bounces over the head of Riley. Took a major hop for Bernardi. So Bernardi's on board with his second base hit of the day. So Bernardi has more hits than the entire Buccaneer team as we are in the 7th inning. The Bucs getting their first hit in the last half inning after 5 2/3 innings without a hit. Here comes Blackjack, Alec Morabito, left-handed hitter. He said yesterday was really the first time he had pitched in about 6 months, as this one's low in the dirt. Nice job by Ortega to block that one, because obviously there are 2 men on base, and if that gets by you, they both move up 90 feet, and then there's 2 men in scoring position, and it's only a 1-run game. Morabito coming in to replace Bryce Cherry. Here's the pitch. Both runners are off, and both runners will be in safe with a stolen base, as they left very early. And Gerardo Ramirez not doing a good job of holding the runners on that particular play. And so now both men are in scoring position here for the Pirates. The infield has come in this one-run game. Still no outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Runners on second and third. Ramirez comes set, fires home to Morabito. Morabito drives it to the left side. Backhanded grab made by the shortstop, fires home, and we have a rundown. Virgin slides and is tagged out. So a very good job right there, over there at shortstop by Anthony Seminaris to make the backhanded grab, playing on the infield grass, fire home to Ortega. Ortega then throwing over to Riley, the third baseman, and Riley finally applying the tag. And on top of that, Bernardi stayed at second base. A lot of times when you see a guy get caught on a rundown, you just see the next runner move up to third base because you assume that the runner in between third and home is going to be caught out. So you want to get another runner in at third base in that situation. Here's the throw, and it is inside for strike one to the other Virgin. This is Nathan. His brother was just tagged out on the third base line on the old 6-2-5 put out. Checks his swing. Did he go? We're going to appeal to an umpire on the left side of second base, so it's not a very easy way for him to see it, but he says the hitter did not go. Still 1-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Bucs. Top of the 7th inning. 2 men on base for Virgin with 1 out. Runners on base are, on second is Jacob Bernardi, who had his second base hit of the game. And on first is Alec Morabito, who reached on a fielder's choice. Nathan Virgin is 0 for 2 on the day, struck out in the 2nd inning and grounded out into a double play back in the 5th. So he'd love nothing more than to take advantage of this opportunity here and get a base knock and maybe an RBI if he can put it in the outfield. This one swung and it is lifted into the outfield in the right field, being waved home by Reynoso is Bernardi. There's going to be no play at the plate, so it is 2-0 Pirates as the ball came into the cutoff man on the infield. And he decided not to go home with it as Bernardi was well close to scoring at that moment. And so it's now, as we mentioned, 2-0. Still only 1 out here in the 7th inning. Alec Morabito is at third base now, as Virgin had the RBI single. Pickoff throw over to first, maybe just to buy a little bit of time to kind of clear your head if you're Gerardo Ramirez after giving up that base hit. The middle infielder is now playing in double play depth. As we mentioned, there's 1 out, so they would like to, get that turn 2 to end the inning, something that the Pirates have done twice in this game. Here's the first at-bat for Blake James. Fastball in the inside corner, called a strike. Snap throw down to first base, not in time. A good job over there at first by Jack Spawn to make the dig off the dirt. Blake James, of course, from Azusa Pacific. Not too far from Cal Poly Pomona. As this one misses inside and is a 1-1 to James. Runners on the corners, 1 out. 2-0 the score now. Pirates increasing their lead, doubling up here in the 7th inning. Very good pitching day for both sides. Here's the pitch. This is a high fly ball to deep left field, and ranging to his right and now making the grab is the left fielder Escobar. But that is, as we mentioned, is so deep that Alec Morabito will be able to score on the sacrifice fly, and the Pirates have taken a 3-0 lead. So the Pirates didn't score until the 5th inning. They scored 1 in that 5th inning on an RBI single by Fernando Escobar. And Jacob Bernardi scored in that inning as we have strike 1 here to Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson in for his first at-bat. Kyle Jackson, of course, an SCCBL All-Star last season. Tied for a team-high 340 in 2013 with the Pirates. Pickoff throw over to first base. Not in time. One of 4 Pirates to make the All-Star game. Here's the pitch from Ramirez. The runner is off. And sliding head first and safe is Virgin. So that'll be a stolen base for Pirates. Pirates still on a few more bases today. Pretty much in the previous games, Nolan Henley was the only guy we saw really getting involved with the running game for the Pirates. As Kyle Jackson awaits the 1-0 offering from Ramirez. Ramirez checks the runner at second, fires home, misses low for ball 2. On deck is Channing Varela, who is in the leadoff spot. Came in the 5th inning as a replacement for Jason Padlow. Ramirez checks the runner again at second, now fires home, and this one is in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Well, the Pirates, as we were mentioning, had that 1 run in the 5th, and they have scored 2 here in the 7th to make it 3-0. As this one is called strike 3 to Kyle Jackson, and Kyle Jackson didn't like 2 of those calls in that at-bat as he goes dejected to the first base dugout. And at the end of 6.5 innings of play, it is now 3-0 Pirates on top. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. We understand that we were dealing with technical difficulties and a stream issue, but it looks like it's resolved now, at least here on my computer. It looks like we are back live as we lost the connection temporarily on InlandValleyBaseball.com. 3-0 the score. If you just missed that last half inning, we apologize because the Pirates actually tacked on 2 runs and extended their lead to 3-0. The 2 runs were scored by Alec Morabito and also Jacob Bernardi, as we're getting confirmation that, yes, indeed, we are back on the air as this one is fouled out of the reach of Andrew Alvarez. So let's just kind of recap. I'm not exactly sure what you missed, but we'll recap exactly what happened in the 7th inning. When we put this up on our website, the full broadcast will be there. So if you want to hear the 7th inning and play it back, you'll be able to do that. But anyways, we're in the bottom of the 7th. It's 3-0 now. Pirates on top of the Bucs. What happened was this. Anthony Virgin walked and stole a bag as we have a strikeout by Kevin Riley. And Jack Johnson records his first strikeout of the game. We mentioned Jack Johnson, of course, 7 strikeouts in just 3 innings in his last outing, the talented UC Riverside southpaw. So as we were mentioning, Anthony Virgin walked and stole a base. Jacob Bernardi singled and scored. Alec Morabito reached on a fielder's choice and scored, as this one misses high to Tanner Thibodeau, and it's 1-0. Then it was Nathan Virgin who had an RBI single, and that scored the first run, Bernardi. And then we had a sac fly RBI by Blake James, which scored Morabito, as this one's in there for a strike to Thibodeau. Thibodeau really didn't like that call as he kind of shook his head in disgust and stepped out of the batter's box. And then the inning ended with a Kyle Jackson strikeout looking. So that's exactly what happened in that top half of the 7th inning, as it is 3-0 Pirates here in the bottom of the 7th. So unfortunately, I guess if we were listening live, you had a long 7th inning stretch that started before the 7th. But we thank you for your patience, as this one is in there for a called strike. 2-strike pitch here for Jack Johnson against Tanner Thibodeau. Well, it did say that the server lost the connection, but it said it reconnected, so I guess it lied to me. But once again, we thank you for your patience, and we thank you for listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com, as this one misses outside to Tanner Thibodeau. And you look at Tanner Thibodeau, he is a very big guy. He just looks like he's going to be a good hitter. This one called strike 3 on the outside corner, and Thibodeau, once again, really not liking the call. as the umpire kind of stares at him as he walks back into that third base dugout. And that is the second out here of the inning. Both of the strikeout variety for Jack Johnson, who now has 2 strikeouts. Of course, he came in the 6th inning and got the first out on that first pitch, which was a fly out to center field. Here's the pitch from Johnson, swung on and missed by Jack Spawn. Jack Spawn, 0 for 1 on the day, walked back in the 2nd and grounded out to the shortstop in the 5th inning. Johnson deals. Nice breaking ball of the backdoor variety, painting the outside corner. Jack Johnson, we've mentioned this before, but as a left-handed pitcher, the Dodgers are his favorite team. Here's the pitch from Johnson as this one misses low in the dirt. So if you haven't heard this yet, obviously if you think of a couple of Dodger pitchers that he might say are his favorite pitchers, well, it's Clayton Kershaw, left-handed pitcher, and Sandy Koufax. Makes a lot of sense for a southpaw. Here's the pitch from Johnson, swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Lowenstein, who holds on to it. So Jack Johnson strikes out the side, and once again showing electric stuff on the mound. We mentioned 7 strikeouts in 3 innings last time he was out there, and now 3 strikeouts in 1 1/3 innings pitched here today. And at the end of 7 innings, it remains 3-0. Pirates on top of the Bucs. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. To the top of 8 we go. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. 3-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Buccaneers as Channing Varela comes to the plate for his second at-bat. In his first at-bat, he flew out to first base. Varela coming in as a replacement for Jason Padlow back in the 5th inning. On deck is Greg Espinosa, also entered in the middle of the game. Micah Bayer is the new pitcher for the Buccaneers. He fires in there for strike 1, and it's 0-1 to Varela. Of course, Micah Bayer was actually on the Pirates last season. One of a couple guys that were on the Pirates and now are on the Buccaneers. He comes set in the stretch and fires home. This one bounces in the dirt, and it's 1-1. You mentioned a lot of relief pitchers will just work out of the stretch the whole time. That's exactly what Bayer is doing here to Channing Varela. Right-handed pitcher and a right-handed hitter with the aforementioned Greg Espinosa on deck. Here's the pitch from Bayer, and this one is swung and fouled off the edge of the bat towards the first base dugout. Well, the other Buccaneer that was a Pirate last season is Bryce Brooks. He's an infielder, usually plays short. Here's the pitch from Bayer. Called strike 3 on the inside corner, and that is the first out here in the 8th inning. So down goes Varela on strikes as Greg Espinosa steps up for his second at-bat. Espinosa is 0 for 1. Andrew Alvarez on deck. So the heart of the order is set to come up for the Pirates here in the 8th inning as this one misses low and away. Once again, if you're just joining us, we thank you for joining us, and we especially thank you for your patience. And we also would like to say that the Pirates are actually the road team today. Both teams, of course, calling Cal Poly Pomona home. And the Buccaneers decided they wanted the home game today as Espinosa squares around, and it came pretty much right at him. He had to jump out of the way. Show off maybe a little bit of his dancing moves right there. Michael Bayer started his career at Cal Baptist. This one's swung on, and this is lifted to dead left field. And the left fielder out there can't make the grab. It hit off his glove, but that will be a double for Espinosa. So Espinosa really hitting a laser to left field. And as I mentioned, it was pretty much straight away left, hit about 10 feet away from the fence. The left fielder out there, Escobar, did get his glove on it, but it was by no means a routine play. In fact, it was pretty amazing that Escobar even got his glove on it in the first place as Andrew Alvarez steps up to the plate. Pirates leading 3-0 over the Buccaneers. Pirates, for 5 2/3 innings, actually held the Bucs hitless in this game, as the first pitch is swung on and missed on a breaking ball by Andrew Alvarez. Of course, Alvarez at the plate actually calls for time to talk to Charlie Reynoso, the third base coach and manager of this team. But as we were saying, Alvarez at the plate and his teammate at Orange Coast College and also at Houston Baptist next year is Greg Espinosa standing on second base. Espinosa with that double that he hit to left field off the mitt of the left fielder, Escobar. Of course, that is Charles Escobar for the Buccaneers. Pirates have another Escobar. That's Fernando Escobar, who's a middle infielder. Showed off a lot of speed on the base paths today, beating out an infield hit, scoring a run. Here's the pitch for Bayer. This one is swung on as this is going a mile high down the left field line. And now camping underneath it is the left fielder, Escobar, who makes the catch. But Espinosa will be able to tag up from second on a fly ball to left field. So now Espinosa is showing a little speed off, but also that's how far the ball was hit by Alvarez for a man to be able to tag up from second on a fly ball to left field. So that is the second out here in the 8th inning as Dylan Lowenstein comes up for his second at-bat of the day. Lowenstein came in the 6th inning and flew out to the first baseman as this is a nice pick made by Michael Ortega at home. Backhanded variety, and it's 1-0. It's only the second game that Lowenstein has played in. He was actually 2 for 2 in his first game, as we mentioned 0 for 1 here today, so 2 for 3 for the season. As he kicks up a little bit of dirt with his back foot and digs in. Fastball swung and fouled back. As the on-deck hitter, Mr. Virgin, will go and claim that ball and bring it back into the first base dugout. Anytime you say Virgin, you got to say which one. Of course, that is Anthony Virgin. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, and the home plate umpire said the hitter didn't go. Didn't look like he really tried to check his swing to me, but the umpire confirming that fact. And normally you'd say that ball is a breaking ball in the dirt, but that one I don't even think reached the dirt. Hit the edge of the infield grass. So a really short pitch right there by Micah Bayer. Late kicking, here's the pitch. Fastball, and this one is off the dirt, and it gets by the catcher. Wild pitch, and in comes a run to score. That is Greg Espinosa. So the Pirates take a 4-0 lead, which is actually the number of Espinosa, number 4. That's something that you hate to see if you're the Bucs, especially because on Saturday, as this one's bounced up the middle over towards the second baseman Smith, Smith comes in and charges in and makes the throw for the out, and that'll do it for the 8th inning. But the Pirates did tack on one more run to their lead. They lead 4-0 here at the end of 7.5 innings. But as we were just talking about, it's hard to see that wild pitch score a run because they had 3 of those on Saturday in that doubleheader, and now seeing one here is really, especially when it was a 3-0 game and you're still in the game, that's a really tough thing right there for the Bucs. Once again, at the end of 7.5 innings, the new score, the Pirates 4 and the Bucs 0. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back. To the bottom of 8 we go. 4-0 the score. Pirates on top of the Bucs. There was no score for 4 innings before the Pirates finally plated the first run in the top of the 5th. And there was a scoreless 6th inning, and they added 2 in the 7th and 1 in the 8th. And that's where we stand right now. 4-0 the score as Kevin Glom is the new pitcher. So presumably you would think that Glom is in here to finish the last 2 innings off as the first pitch is fouled into the third base dugout by Gerardo Ramirez. Kevin Glom will be a senior next season with Loyola Marymount. Very large in stature is the right-handed pitcher, 6'4", 225 pounds, as this one misses low for ball one. 1-1 the count. Of course, Glom was part of that 17 strikeout performance on Monday. He started the thing off in the first 2 innings. Glom, with athleticism really running through his veins and bloodline. His father played collegiate basketball at Santa Clara, as this one misses low for a ball. His brother played baseball at Loyola Marymount, which is a major reason why he chose Loyola Marymount. And his sister played volleyball at Loyola Marymount as well. So very talented, athletic family. This one swung on, line drive over to the second baseman, Blake James, who makes the grab for the first out of the inning. So a line out to the second baseman for Gerardo Ramirez as he falls to 0 for 2 on the day. And Teagle comes up for the first time. Here's Jake Teagle. Takes for strike 1 and on an off-speed pitch. Jake Teagle, 6'1", 180-pound right-handed hitter from Chaffey College. Hit 326 games this past season. Swings at this one and fouls it out of play right behind the backstop, and it's 0-2. What's interesting, because I actually saw Jake Teagle playing at first base in the middle innings, but he wasn't playing in the last inning. But here he is, the hit. This one swung on and foul-tipped, and I think that was foul-tipped off his left ankle, which I believe is why he's kind of walking it off out of the batter's box. A lot of times when a guy hits it off the ankle, you'll see an umpire walk the ball to the pitcher. That's not what this home plate umpire did. Catcher sets up on the outside and tries to frame it. That is Lowenstein, but the home plate umpire did not bite as he calls a ball. 1 away, bottom of the 8th. 4-0 the score. Pirates on top. Kevin Glom has come in as this is a towering fly ball. Hit down the first base line, and the first baseman, Andrew Alvarez, makes the grab in foul territory, about 5 feet away from that first base bag, and that's the second out here in the inning. So 2 up, 2 down for Glom. So far, so good. And his second outing of the season. Glom, another returning player, one of 17 returning players for the Pirates. This one swung, line drive to right center field, and that is definitely going to get in the gap. Rounding first is Sean Campbell, but he'll stay put on a good throw out there by the outfielder to make sure that he stayed put at first. That is only the second hit of the game for the Bucs. The good takeaways for the Bucs, though, is the pitching, because as we mentioned a lot throughout the course of these first 5 games of the season, the Pirates have a very prolific offense. A lot of guys that can swing the bat, a lot of guys with speed that can steal bases and really can take extra bags. And to hold them to a 4-0 score in 8 innings is pretty impressive, as this is called a strike, and it's 0-1 to Michael Ortega. Remember that last run that scored really shouldn't have scored because it came in on a wild pitch, as Glom has a pickoff throw over to first. Just kind of checking to see that Sean Campbell's paying attention here in the bottom of the 8th. Time is called for by the home plate umpire. I didn't quite see if the hitter called for time or what that was all about. Here's the pitch from Glom. Swung on and hit towards the shortstop, who actually makes an error. That is Espinosa. No, that's not Espinosa. That's Varela now. So Varela came back in and makes the error, as there are now 2 runners on board here on base here for the Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers trying to get another 2-out rally potentially going here, as they had back in the 6th inning. The 6th inning, the first 2 hitters were retired, but that was when Seminaris had their first hit of the game. Speaking of Seminaris, he's at the plate now. And then it was Michael Smith who walked. So they had 2 men on base, but couldn't score when /Wyo flew out to center field. This one's called a ball, and it's 1-0 to Seminaris. As we mentioned, 1 for 1 on the day. One of 2 hits for the Buccaneers in this game. Glom working out of the stretch. Checks the runner at second. Nobody holding him on. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung and fouled down the right field line. Seminaris was behind the pitch a little bit, but now he's shaking his head as he walks back in the batter's box. So I think he feels like he's got the timing down now for the fastball of Kevin Glom. On second base is Sean Campbell, who singled. On first is Michael Ortega, who reached on the error by Varela. This one swung on, broken bat over to the shortstop Varela. Varela charging and firing sidearm. Nice play by Varela. So he made up for that error by charging hard, picking off the one hop and slinging it sidearm across the diamond to make that final out of the 8th inning. And at the end of 8 full innings of play, it remains 4-0. Pirates on top of the Bucs. And welcome back to the top of 9 we go. Pirates up 4-0 over the Buccaneers as we have a new pitcher. This is Nathaniel Acosta, the newest member of the Buccaneers. This is his first game with the team today, as it looks like he'll be the closer, at least for this game. Wearing number 9 and pitching the 9th inning as this fastball's in at the knees for strike 1 to Virgin. Anthony Virgin came in the 6th inning, walked back in the 7th, and stole a base. This one is swung on, and this is a fly ball that will make its way out of play. No, it stays in play. And the catch is made by the first baseman, Jack Spahn, pretty much in the dugout for the Pirates. And that'll be the first out here. Here comes Jacob Bernardi with Alex Morabito on deck. He takes ball 1 inside, and it's 1-0 to Bernardi. Bernardi with a pretty good day today, 2 for 3, 2 runs scored. Here's the pitch. This one's high and tight. Just to kind of back out of the way, and it's 2-0. So a good pitch right here for Bernardi to maybe take a whack at it and go to 3 for 4. He does take a whack at it, and it's driven down the third base line, and it was hit very hard at Riley, who tried to make a backhanded grab and couldn't make the catch. That's kind of a tweener type of play. When I say tweener, between being a hit and an error. But if Riley makes the catch, he should have made the play over to first base. Costa now working out of the stretch for the first time. Fires home to Morabito, and that's on the inside corner for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Well, if you remember, Morabito, when he was only at bat in this game, hit the grounder with the infielders in to the shortstop. Shortstop threw it to home, and the catcher threw it to third base. So he reached on a fielder's choice. That, I guess, is just a long way of saying he reached on a fielder's choice, as this one misses for a ball, and it's 1-1 to Morabito. After he reached on that fielder's choice, Alec ended up scoring in that inning. Runner goes. It was a hit and run, and it was swung on and missed. But the runner did get into second base. So we'll credit a stolen bag to Jacob Bernardi, his second of the day. See if Morabito can get an RBI in the second consecutive day. Grounds it to the right side and foul. Just past the glove of Jack Spahn. That looked really close from where we're sitting. It's hard to kind of decipher for sure if it was fair, especially at a little bit of an angle. I'm off to about 3 or 4 feet to the right of home plate. And there's also a little bit of shade over there down the first base line. Shade comes from the bungalow, which is the clubhouse for Cal Poly Pomona, and also from the adjacent dorms out in right field. Fastball swung on, foul tipped into the mitt of the catcher Michael Ortega, so that will be a strikeout in the second out here in the ninth inning. Here comes Nathan Virgin. Nathan is 1 for 3 on the day. Had an RBI single back in the 7th inning. On deck is Blake James. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. Well, this is actually the first time that the Pirates will have 9 at-bats today. Oh, no, that's not true. They had 9 at-bats against the East LA Dodgers. That was a road game, of course, so this will be the second time they have 9 at-bats. The other 3 games as home games, they only get 8. This one's swung on, and it might have chipped the bat, and this might be a swinging bunt here for Virgin, and that's exactly what it is. So it'll be a single, infield single for Virgin, and there's now runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning for Blake James. Blake James came in the 7th inning, had a sac fly to left field, which was an RBI. That scored Alec Morbido, and that was the 3rd run for the Pirates in this game. They now lead 4-0 after adding 1 in the 8th. This one swung at first pitch swinging, skyscraping fly ball over to the first baseman Jack Spahn, who calls for it and makes the grab. So at the end of 8.5 innings of play, Pirates retain that 4-0 lead here against the Buccaneers. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back to Cal Poly Pomona. To the bottom of 9 we go. Andrew Alvarez is the new pitcher. He fires in there on the inside for strike 1 to Michael Smith. Michael Smith with his second plate appearance. In his first plate appearance, he walked. The Pirates just 3 outs away from being 5-0 on the season. Breaking ball low and away for ball 1, and it's 1-1. This is Michael Smith's first game. He wasn't here for the doubleheader on Saturday. So still no official at bat yet for number 25, as this is called a strike, and it's 1-2. Andrew Alvarez, of course, started at first base and hitting the 3-hole today. As this one is chopped back to Alvarez on the 1 hop, he fires over to first, and the play is made to Greg Espinosa. So Espinosa is at first base. Interesting. We've seen Espinosa play a lot of positions already in this season. Seen him pitch and play first, play shortstop. I don't know if we've seen him play second yet, but I could imagine that we might see him play second at some point throughout this season too. Like you can hear the pitch from Alvarez, and that was a nice breaking pitch right there that froze the hitter. Hitter is Escobar. Here's the pitch. Comes back with pretty much the same pitch, and once again, Escobar kind of just grits his teeth and says, there's not really anything I can do with that. So now the question is, do you try to come back and maybe give him some high heat? Well, he came back with the heat, but it wasn't exactly high, but I guess it was outside for ball 1, and it's 1-2. Escobar came in the 6th inning, replacing Busi/Wyo, flew out to center field, as this one misses low for ball 2. 2-2 the count to Escobar. Andrew Alvarez will massage the baseball, getting it to his liking for this 2-strike pitch. Working out of the windup, fastball on the outside corner, called strike 3, and that is the second out here in the 9th inning. So the Buccaneers down to their final 3 strikes. As we have Nathaniel Acosta coming to the plate. So Acosta, who actually pitched in the 9th, will actually get an at-bat as well here in the 9th. Here's the pitch. Fastball, strike 1. 0-1 the count for Alvarez. Alvarez is a sports medicine major. Another guy from the Inland Empire. Breaking ball misses low for a ball. Hometown is Riverside and went to Martin Luther King High. Had some good accolades there. He was a first-team All-League performer, and he was a scholar athlete as well, as in the breaking ball dirt for a ball. As we mentioned, the Pirates, they have a lot of games this week. Fastball in there for strike 2, so the Buccaneers are down to their final strike here. Well, I guess Nathaniel Acosta is a ninth-inning type of player. This is the only inning he played in, and he's wearing number 9. And he also pitched and he hit. But he strikes out on this one as it's foul tipped and caught by Lowenstein behind home plate. And Andrew Alvarez records his second strikeout and retires the side in order here in the 9th inning. And that will be just another Pirates victory as they win 4-0 and increase their record to 5-0. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers fall to 0-3 on the season. All 3 losses, of course, coming to the Pirates. As we mentioned, that busy week will continue tomorrow at 5 o'clock against the Long Beach Legends, which will be a real test for the Pirates to see how they stack up against a team that was the runner-up in the SCCBL last season, and now they're moving on to the OCCL. They decided that they wanted to stay more local to Orange County, even though they are going to play in the Inland Empire in Pomona, Cal Poly Pomona tomorrow against the Pirates. But that'll be a big test on Thursday, and then Saturday, San Diego Force is another pretty good program, and it'll be interesting to see how Pirates play against them in a doubleheader. And then on Sunday, Pirates will go all the way to Las Vegas to take on Team Las Vegas and these Inland Valley Buccaneers, who are also traveling to Vegas and who will also play the same 2 teams, Team Vegas and the Pirates. Well, let's get you some of the top performers from this game. Well, first of all, we have to mention, obviously, the pitching. The pitching was very, very great for the Pirates, as usual. Jake Miller started the game off with 2 innings. Sean Patton came in the 3rd. Brett Early went 2 2/3. Then it was Jack Johnson who went 1 1/3, and Kevin Glom went an inning. And Andrew Alvarez slammed the door shut in the 9th. 2 hits allowed for the Pirates. So a very, very good day once again for Pirate pitching. And now let's look at some of the offensive leaders for Inland Valley. There was no scoring until the 5th inning. So it was scoreless for 4 innings, and this was really one of the closest, if not the closest game Pirates have had all season long. And in that 5th inning, Jacob Bernardi, he was probably one of the players of the day. He ended up 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored, 2 stolen bases. So he scored the first run in that 5th inning. He was scored by Blake James. Oh, no, I take that back. He was scored by Fernando Escobar on an RBI single. And then in the 7th inning, Jacob Bernardi once again starting a rally, singled, and wound up scoring on an RBI by Nathan Virgin. And then Alec Morabito scored the 2nd run in that inning on a sac fly by Blake James. So that's how they got to 3-0 in the 7th, and then they added 1 more in the 8th. That run was scored on a wild pitch by Greg Espinosa. So there is the 4 runs for the Pirates. For the Buccaneers, you like how you played. This was a much closer, more competitive game with the Pirates. And pitching-wise, Michael Reina looked really good. Jason De La Peña looked good. Art Salazar, pretty much all of them played pretty well here for the Bucs today. As we are about to wrap things up from Cal Poly Pomona, the final score 4-0. Pirates beat the Buccaneers. So glad you could join us wherever you may be on InlandValleyBaseball.com, and we'll see you next time, which would be tomorrow at 5 o'clock against the Legends.